Guitar rigs. They come in all shapes and sizes. Big, small, amplified, direct out, cheap, and expensive. And that got me thinking, just how much do the guitar rigs used by the pros, the rock stars, actually cost? I've gone and selected the most recent rigs I possibly could get from different players who had rigs that I could somewhat accurately price up. And before we get there are a couple of rules to this video. One, this is the guitar rig, not the guitars themselves. I'm talking about amplifiers, effects, speakers, etc. A lot of players are using custom shop guitars that aren't available to the public, or they're using old guitars or rare guitars that just are impossible to price. How do you price the Red Special? Is it based off the going rate for scrap fireplace wood, or is it the likely multi-millions it would sell for if it was sold at auction? It's an impossible task. 2, these are rough estimates based mostly off US retail pricing, and it's in dollars because most of my audience are American. And 3, you probably don't need most of this stuff. We're looking at touring professionals who have selected this gear for a mixture of sound, touring reliability, and then there's the aspect of the steep discounts or potential free equipment that they get. This video is not about how much they paid for the rigs, it's how much you would have to pay for the rigs if you were paying full retail cost. It's just a bit of fun. Alright, with that all out of the way, let's start with Steve Vai. Vai has had a number of different rigs recently, but we're going to be looking at his most recent European variation of his rig. The core of Steve's rig is kept in this shock mount SKB rack case. This is a commercially available case, which means I was able to get an accurate price of $855. For his preamp sound, Steve used the Synergy system, which requires both module and the rack units for the modules to go into. Those rack units are the Syn 2s, and he's got 2 of them, which together add up to near $1,600. Then there's the Synergy preamps. He's got 4, 2 Steve Vai signature preamps and 2 B-Man, which are the Synergy Fender Bassman preamps. Those 4 together add up to $1,599. Then he's got the Axe FX 3 for his effects, and that comes in at $2,299. Then all that sound goes through 2 412s and 2 monitor cabinets, powered by 2 Freya 292 amplifiers. That's $3,398 for those 2 Freyas. And that is all powered by the Furman P1800. I think it's the P1800, hard to tell, but that's $845, bringing the rack's total to $10,598. That's a lot. But it doesn't end there. To control this rig on the floor, Steve's got the RJM Mastermind LT, which is $500, the Axe FX FC12, which is $750, an Expression pedal, which I think is the Roland EV5 or something very similar, $85, then the Ibanez Gemini Distortion pedal, which is essentially a Tube Screamer and a DS1 in the one unit. Now these pedals have been discontinued for a while, and the cheapest one on Reverb that I could find was $258.18. Then he's got the Whammy DT, which is $400, and the Dunlop 535QWA, which is $150, bringing our floor total to $2,142. The cabinets Steve is using have been discontinued for quite some time. They are both Carbon 412 Legacy 2 cabinets. I used the Wayback Machine to determine that if you were buying these cabinets new, they'd set you back about $1,078. Steve also uses 2 1x12 Legacy cabinets in front of him to monitor his guitar tone, but these, as far as I could tell, weren't commercially available, so the closest I could get is Carvin 1x12s, and 2 of them would have set you back $578, bringing the speaker total on stage to $1,656. Rounding up, that brings the total of Steve Vai's rig to a whopping $14,397. That's a lot, but surprisingly nowhere near the top. Steve's rig is actually the 5th highest priced rig in today's video. But let's step it down for this next rig. Nita Strauss, when she was playing with Alice Cooper, she had a sizable and probably pretty expensive rig. However, in her solo work and her new gig with Demi Lovato, she seems to be going ampless, with just a Boss GT1000 coming in at $1,189 and a Shure GLX D16 wireless. The D16 is discontinued, but this is the retail price that it was originally at. This was the very simple rig that was used for her solo work, but it seems, at least from Instagram pictures, that this is very close to the rig that she's using now with Demi Lovato as well, making Nita's rig total the cheapest of today's video at $1,639. Just quickly, I want to mention that if you're enjoying today's video, drop it a like. It's totally free and it would be a cool thing to do. And speaking of really cool, I recently just secured myself some proper affiliate links with SweetWater and Seymour Duncan directly. So if you're planning on buying any gear and you want to support the channel, click the links below in the description, and that really helps me. So thank you. Now, do you know who's an underrated player? John 5. Let's take a look at his most recent solo touring rig. John 5's rig is a much more classic type rig. Guitar, pedal board, amplifier. The pedal board itself is the Pedal Train Junior, which comes in at $140. On that pedal board is the Boss TU3 tuner, which is $120, the Ibanez TS9, which is $110, the Boss CH1 chorus, which is $140, the Boss NS2, which is $114, the Boss DM2W, which is $174.99, the Boss OC3, which is discontinued and it comes in on Reverb at $137, and the Boss DD6, which is also discontinued, which comes in at $139.30, cheapest on Reverb, bringing our board's total to $1,076. For the amplifiers, he's using two JVM 210H John 5 editions. Those are custom shops, so hard to price, but two standard Marshall JVM heads, brand new, and in America, as opposed to England where it would be a bit cheaper, would be $5,099. John 5 is also using two Marshall cabinets. He's using a 1960A cab, and he's using an oversized Mode 4 cabinet, but those aren't available on Reverb. I can't find any pricing anywhere, so we're going to give you another Marshall 1960B cab, and those new would total $3,199, bringing the amp total to $8,299. Which brings John 5's rig total to $9,376. Now, this particular rig uses a lot of pieces that can be found for a lot less than retail on the secondhand market, but for the video's purposes of having something consistent, I am using the retail prices, which come in at that price. Anyway, on to the next rig, which is a bit bigger. Def Leppard. They're one of my favorite bands. They're known for their high production, their stadium tours, and bringing a lot of gear with them. Let's start with Phil Collen. Phil's rack is powered with a Furman PL Power Plus. These come in at $464.95. Then he's got a very expensive Shure Axient wireless system. That rack unit is $7,474 new. He's using a Radial JX42 switcher, which comes in at $900, and then he's got two Axifex 3s. These together come in at $4,599.98. Most of the time when you see gear doubled up in rigs like this, one is acting as a spare and is not in use during the show, but in Def Leppard's case they use two Axifexes, as one goes straight to the front of house and one goes to the cabinets for stage volume. The total of gear in the rack comes to $13,438.92. But we're not done. On the floor to control the rack is the Mastermind GT22, which is $1,899. And for some on-stage sound, as the bass player in Def Leppard doesn't use in-ears, Phil is using the Atomic CRL F4F4 speaker, and he's using two of them. Those come to a total of $1,999. Bringing Phil's rig total to $17,338. That's quite a bit, but we're not done with Def Leppard just yet. Let's look at Vivian Campbell's rig. Vivian Campbell's rig is much bigger and more expensive than Phil Collen's rig. It's powered with the Furman M8DX, which is $220, and an RJM rack mount switcher, which comes in at $889. He's got the Crybaby rack, which is $599, and that same expensive Shure Axient wireless, which is $7,474. He's got two fan coolers in the rack. These are AC Infinity rack coolers, and while they're both different sizes, they come in at the same price. Two of them will cost $258. Then we've got the same as Phil with two Axifex 3s, $4,599, and then to power the cabinets on stage, he's got the stereo Marshall 9200, which on Reverb I found for $860. The rack's total is $14,900. It's controlled with a Mastermind GT22, which costs $1,899, and the cabinets that he's powering with that Marshall power amp are two Ingle 412s, which new in the USA would set you back $2,800. Making Vivian Campbell's rig total a whopping $19,600. So, Def Leppard's live guitar rigs combined are a total of $36,938. but they still aren't the most expensive in today's video. But let's take a step back before we get there and remember that gear isn't everything. And this is proven by none other than the guy who could probably outplay everybody, Guthrie Govan.
See how much you can do just with that one hand. Show off.
Guthrie's rig is just slightly bigger and slightly more expensive than the very minimalist Nita Strauss rig we looked at earlier. He's using a Fractal FM9, which is essentially the floor unit of the Axe-Fx 3, that's $1,699, coupled with the Fractal Expression pedal, which is $140, and a Crybaby Mini for $100. That's Guthrie's rig. That's it. Making Guthrie's rig total $1,940, the second cheapest rig in today's video, which is the complete opposite of the most expensive rig we're going to next, which is Megadeth's. Just about everybody so far who's had a rack mount system has been using a Thomann power conditioner, and Dave Mustaine is no different. He's using the Thomann PL Plus, which is $464.95. He's got the same wireless system as Def Leppard, the Shure Accent Wireless, which is $7,474. He's got a switching system for his guitars, the Radial JX44, which is $1,780. And then for the actual tone of the rig, he's using two quad Cortexes, which are $3,698 for the both together. And then to power those quad Cortexes through some cabinets, he's using two Seymour Duncan Power Stage 700s, and those together would cost $1,398, bringing a round-up rack total to $14,815. But those Seymour Duncans are powering four Marshall 4x12s. They're powering the Dave Mustaine signature 412s, which I can't find on Reverb, I can't find secondhand, I can't find anywhere, so I've priced these as standard Marshall 1960s cabinets, and four of those would set you back $6,399. Making Dave Mustaine's the highest price we've seen so far, $21,215. But Dave's rig is only second to one, his lead guitar player, Kiko Loureiro. The top three units in Kiko's rack are a mirror image of Dave Mustaine's. He's also powering it with the Thomann PL Plus, $464, the Shure Accent Wireless, $7,474, and switching guitars with the Radial JX44, $1,780. He's also got two quad Cortexes, $3,698. Kiko actually introduced those to Dave. But unlike Dave, along with the quad Cortexes, he's using two Dunlop mini volumes, which come in together at $259, and all of that is powered through two Matrix GT1000 FXs, which cost $1,898 together, bringing our rack total to the biggest we've seen so far, $15,574. And on stage he's also using Marshall cabinets. Megadeth do use dummy cabinets for show, but due to the appearance of two power amps, I'm going to assume that he's powering four cabinets, which again are the Dave Mustaine Marshall signature cabinets, but I can't find them, so we're using the Marshall 4x12 1960s cabinets, and four of those would set you back in the USA brand new $6,400. Making Kiko's rig the most expensive in today's video, $21,975. Also making Megadeth's combined guitar rigs the highest priced in today's video, $43,190. And that's before guitars. So that's the video. It's rough, it was just a bit of fun, and I thought it would be interesting. And if you thought it was interesting, drop a comment on which person's rig you'd be interested in seeing how much it would cost. I do want to reiterate though that expensive gear is not important, it's about playing guitar and practice, and if you do that, use what you've got, it will sound good. So thank you for watching, subscribe if you're cool, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!